Hello， 先生小姐，歡迎你嚟到旅食 club， 我係艾羅，依家係非常之充滿文化氣息嘅時間啦。我哋係玩緊一隻 game， 或者應該話睇緊一個故事，叫做 To Be or Not To Be 啊。咁唔知你哋有冇聽過呢句嘢？呢句嘢係好出名嘅法國文學大師叫咩名話？叫做皮爾修啊，係啊，皮爾修斯先生所講嘅其中一句説話就係做定唔做。咁係通常都係佢喺街上面見到啲流鶯咁樣行埋去同佢講let to be or not let to be 咁基本上大概咁樣啦，法文應該係咁嘅。我諗係咯，應該全部加個略字喺前面就係法文㗎。咁 anyway 係啦，咁呢個故事咧就基本上係。
1564 AD to whenever he died, was well known for borrowing from existing literature when writing his plays.
係啦，係其實係莎士比亞寫嘅，做咩拆穿我咧
？Entirely from Arthur Brooks' poem *The Tragical History of Romulus and Juliet*. Dude didn't even change the names. And as recent Shakespeare scholarship has established, the famed play *William Shakespeare Presents Hamlet* was lifted wholesale from the volume you are about to enjoy. To Be or Not to Be. To Be or Not to Be is both the earliest recorded example of the books as game genre, as well as the first instance ever in the then newish English language that was kicking around of an adventure being chosen by you, the reader. We've gone ahead and added illustrations, plus we've taken the liberty of marking with tiny York skulls the choices Shakespeare himself made when he plagiarized his book back in olden times. They're there in case you wish to put yourself in Shakespeare's shoes, reading this book as he did, stealing plot elements wholesale, and classing up the language as he/you went/go. However, that is not the only way to read this book. Feel free to explore your other options, as each time you read this book, you can go on a different adventure, assuming you don't read the book like 3 quadrillion times, at which point the adventures will start to repeat, and they'll probably seem pretty familiar long before then anyway. Now, take yourself back to history, when ghosts walked the earth and nobody knew velociraptors were even a thing. Steel yourself to experience the magic of Shakespeare as it was meant to be experienced, in a non-deterministic narrative structure, where you end up thinking maybe you made a wrong decision, so you mark the pages you were just on, so you can always go back and make a different choice if you die for some dumb reason. To be or not to be, that is the adventure.
好啦，咁其實呢套嘢咧，哎呀，收聲唔該。咁呢隻 game 好在就係會有 narration 嘅，非常之好，咁唔需要我講嘢，咁最好啦。咁有時即係攰得滯嘅時候就冇精神講咁多嘢啊嘛，所以就可以由佢講啦。不過可能錄嗰度就可能會錄得細聲少少，所以如果你想聽得清楚啲，可能要較大聲少少啦。咁你個 speaker 唔係 speaker， 你個 headphone 啊，係咯 speaker 啊，係咯 speaker 咯。我講錯點解會先黐線 ？OK， 係咯，咁較大聲少少啦。咁好啦 ，To Be or Not To Be， 咁基本上係來自 William Shakespeare 嘅Hamlet 啦，好似中文名叫哈姆雷特啊，好核突嘅名嘅個。咁頭先check 先。咁Hello， 翻到嚟啦。咁原來撳一撳出咗去，彈咗 Wikipedia 嗰邊，跟住就會。個 app 會自動 secure 咗，錄影個 program 會自動 secure 咗咁啊，所以冇辦法啦，咁再嚟講咯。好啦，咁係咯，講到咩咧？上次係啦，咁基本上係咯，咁William Shakespeare 啲嘢基本上就抄翻嚟，都唔係抄嘅，好似可能話借翻以前啲故事咁樣再改編咁樣啦，好似話羅貫中定係黃貫中定係羅貫中定係應該羅貫中啊，係啊羅貫中咁攞翻啲陳壽嗰啲三國志啊，咁樣攞翻嗰啲歷史啊，咁樣即係再自己改編咁寫啲嘢咁樣變咗本三國演義出嚟咁。又可以話佢抄嘅，又可以話佢唔係抄嘅，咁係咯。咁呢啲歷史小說呢啲嘢就好難講嘅。咁不過呢套嘢完全係 fake 嘅，咁Hamlet 係唔存在嘅。呢個 King of Denmark 好似係冇 Hamlet 一個人嘅。係咯，咁不過 anyway 好啦，咁我哋。Choose my own adventure， 睇下先，咦？點解咁嘅係？俾我喐唔該。What the？ 怪怪地咁嘅，點解好似？都出快先。OK， 再嚟過。Skip。咁可以揀啦。What if I read acknowledgement instead？ 或者係 keep reading？OK，keep reading 啊。
Whoa, slow down there, cowboy. At the end of that last bit, you were supposed to make a choice, and then jump to the page that reflects that choice. Instead of following those instructions, you just kept reading what came next like this is an ordinary book. This book is crazy insane. How are you even acting like this is an ordinary book? You die without even having chosen your character. The end. And your final score is maybe learn to read books better sometime. Out of 1,000.
OK， 但係個 choice 死咗。
Dude, that's not a very good score, I gotta say.
OK， 等我再嚟過。真係非常之開心咧 ，game 真係咩 choice 都未乜見已經死咗。OK， 嘅手掣突然冇反應，奇怪，要搞到我用 mouse。OK， 咁算啦，用 mouse 啊。OK， 咁呢個係基本上因為讀acknowledgement， 即係讀嗰啲要感激邊個啊，多謝邊個支持啊，邊個俾 inspiration 我啊，邊個背脊插我兩刀啊嗰啲咁嘅樣。咁啊有啲悶嘅，咁唔好理佢噶。咁啊係咯呢啲，咁基本上咧就佢應該本身係一本書嚟，跟住後尾佢就啲人就 digitalize 咁樣，再加埋配音啊咁樣，變咗隻 choose your own adventure 嘅 game 啦嘛。咁啊基本上就係呢一種書就話俾你知，第一頁就會有啲咩故事啊，啲背景啊，發生啲咩事啊，然之後話俾你知，你選擇向東行嘅就跳去第3頁，選擇去偷阿婆底褲嘅就去第5頁，選擇刀仔吉大髀啊去38頁咁樣，咁就唔會話一直咁讀落去嘅本書就，所以就係頭先咁話，唔理你啊，總之我不停咁 keep 落去，不停咁揭落去，咁樣就會係錯晒個故事。咁啊，所以係啦，叫跟翻佢玩法嘅，咁始終都係感覺好似有啲講緊好似 Stanley Parable 咁樣。不過 Stanley Parable 係第二啲 game 嚟嘅，咁啊都特別啲啦。Anyway。Choose my own character.
You've just been born. Congratulations, good work on that thing. Now, surprise! Babies are boring, so we're going to jump ahead in time to a point where you're an adult, and you've already lived a bunch of your life. But I promise most of what we're skipping over was really dull. You ate a lot and slept a lot and made some friends, tears were shed, makeouts were totally had, etc. It was a bunch of high school stuff. The awesome stuff starts now. So, let's begin, my friend. Remind me again who you are. Are you Ophelia?
Ophelia.
She's an awesome lady in her late 20s with a calm, competent, and resourceful demeanor. She's got a +1 bonus to science, but she's also got a -1 weakness against water, so heads up.
Okay.
Hamlet? He's an emo teen in his early 30s. Also, he's the Prince of Denmark. Hamlet has a +1 resistance to magic, but there's no magic in this adventure, so this never gets mentioned again as of right now. Hamlet Sr.? He's the king of Denmark, 50 years old. He's super good at fighting and leading men into battle in naps. Let's say +1 to each? Look, bottom line, he's an unstoppable machine of death. And should you choose to be him, you may experience kingly glory.
Oh, sounds awesome,
Play
man.
as Ophelia. Play as Hamlet. Play as Hamlet Sr.
OK， 咁我玩邊個咧？咁啊 ，William Shakespeare 就會揀一個 emo teen 嘅，30歲 emo teen Hamlet。咁啊 ，Ophelia 就係好似係Hamlet 嘅 Stewart 嘅女啊 ，Ophelia。唔係好記得，因為我未睇過，我都係睇過 Wikipedia page， 但係都係撈一撈眼嘅啫。咁啊，唔係好知係乜春嘢。Hamlet Senior 就係 King of Denmark 啦，就係 Hamlet 個老豆啦。咁啊，有 Kingly Glory 喎，咁佢試下傾啦。
You are King Hamlet. All of Denmark is under your command.
玩開佢試下傾啊，梗係傾㗎啦，哈哈哈。但係其實都應該係揀 Court 嘅，冇 Court 揀嘅咩？
forces to an astounding victory during which you personally killed the Norwegian king. Stabbed him right through the head, you did. His eye popped out and rolled on the ground, and then you stepped on it. Whoa, your ass is bad. You are a badass. You decide after a day of being good at fighting, you should have a nap. You've earned it. You settle down in an orchard for some nappy times. During your delightful rest, your brother pours some poison in your ear, and you die. Surprise! You didn't know poisons work that way. Wow, you've barely made one choice so far, and you're dead already. Way to go, champ. You're really good at books, huh? It's just a stellar job you're doing here, Chuckles. The end. Okay, fine. I feel sorry for you. Here's a choice you can choose. Become a ghost. Do not become a ghost.
揀咗2個 option， 跟住死2次，真係要 learn to read 啦。Anyway， 好啦，咁啊 ，to be or not to be a ghost 啊，咁啊，如果揀 not to be 應該都冇咩好玩嘅，咁啊，不如揀 to be a ghost 啦。Go。
Good news! The afterlife exists, and it's full of ghosts. You know this because you're now one of them. You get to spend all your time slamming doors, rattling chains, and telling on the person who killed you. But here's the thing. I, the author, told you, the reader, that your brother poured poison in your ear while you nap. But you, as Hamlet Sr., have no idea how you died. You slept through the whole thing, so you need to figure out who killed you if you're going to revenge yourself on your murderer, assuming you even were murdered. Because remember that, for all you know, you could have died of a heart attack. This is an example of dramatic irony. Only since we're in the second person, it's an amazing example of an entirely new species of dramatic irony. Something I'm going to call second-person pronoun paradoxical autodramatic irony. You are now aware of information that you're not aware of. This should be fun.
Okay.
Except that you died of a heart attack. Listen in on people's conversations and see if any of them talk about how they totally killed you.
OK， 咁基本上呢啲情況就係好電視劇 feel 嗰啲咁樣啦。你基本上係咯，或者玩 RPG 嘅，如果你玩 TRPG 嗰啲啊嘛，知咁啊 player 會知道發生咩事，但係 character 會唔知，因為係咯佢瞓緊覺啊嘛。阿 King Hamlet 係瞓緊覺嘅時候，俾人用響耳嗰度灌毒藥毒死咗佢。咁但係佢唔知道邊度毒死佢，甚至佢唔知道自己係俾人毒死嘅添。咁啊好啦，咁我其實我都係死嘅心臟病，算啦冇辦法啦。咁或者可以選擇偷聽下人哋講啲咩，睇下係咪人哋殺我嘅。偷聽下啦。
You hang around Norway for a bit, trying to listen in on what people are saying, but they're all speaking Norwegian. You only speak Danish, so understanding Norwegian is a little difficult. It all sounds like Swedish to you, which actually makes a lot of sense, since Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish are all related North Germanic languages, descended from early linguistic differentiation between regular Germanic speakers and North Germanic speakers around 200 AD. You nod your head, agreeing that all of this is both accurate and extremely interesting. While these three languages are generally supposed to be mutually intelligible, you find you can understand Norwegian speakers only if you're concentrating, which you are, and if they're speaking slowly and clearly, which they're not, as everyone is running around upset about war, and all these kings getting killed. Ironically, Norwegian speakers can understand Danish easier than Danish speakers understand Norwegian, but that doesn't help you much. That would only be useful if you were playing as a Norwegian king, whose ghost is stowed away on your army's boat headed back to Denmark. But I haven't given you that option, even though it would be extremely awesome. If you're wondering what happens to this vengeful ghost king, I can tell you only this. The answer exists in your imagination. But here's the good news. It turns out written Danish and written Norwegian are actually pretty similar. So you spend the next several nights haunting people, quietly reading their diaries while they sleep peacefully in their beds. And you don't know this, but ghosts do this all the time. Ghosts just love sneaking a peek at the secrets of the living. It takes a while, but you finally find the diary of someone who wrote, on the day you died, that she was wandering by a garden, minding her own business, when she saw some Danish guy pour something in some other Danish guy's ear. Hey, that sounds like what could have happened to you. But remember, you don't know that's exactly what happened to you because of the new irony we invented.
OK， 咁似乎係關我哋事啊。
Wake up this person and hold up a piece of paper where you've written down a question asking her about it.
OK， 我哋可以就咁熬醒佢問佢，或者熬醒佢，然後 show 張紙俾佢睇，我哋寫咗啲乜嘢嘛？我哋將你自己問題寫喺張紙上面問佢。咁啊，呢個好似醒目啲嘅做法啦，因為佢哋聲稱啊 Norwegian 同埋 Danish 係寫出嚟係差唔多嘅，咁但係講出嚟咧就唔係好明。咁但係其實係咯，我哋 Danish 噶嘛，我哋講應該佢都聽得明，因為佢係 Norwegian 噶嘛。啲人頭先就話Norwegian 聽 Danish 係易聽過 Danish 聽 Norwegian 嘅，咁啊所以就應該易啲嘅，應該 OK 嘅，應該兩個都 OK 嘅。咁啊呢個北歐三國嘅語言基本上都差唔多啊，有啲同呢個普通話同埋其他廣東話乜 Q 嘢差唔多，都係一啲基本上可以話同一個 root 咁就上下啦。咁但係就基本上都係你可以話要聽明嘅，但係就始終都有分別嘅。anyway 係咯OK 問下佢啦。
You bang some pots and pans together until she wakes up. Hey, I'm a ghost, but not of anyone you know. Listen, tell me more about that garden murder you saw, you say. In response, the woman looks at you terrified. She says something in Norwegian and you suddenly feel dumb. You're already a spooky ghost, but now you're a spooky ghost talking to her in a language she doesn't even know. Anyway, by the time you find a piece of paper and write down, Hey, I don't want to kill you. It's too late. The woman has run out of the room, and every time she sees you, she gets mad and throws something at you and leaves. You kind of blew it here, King Hamlet.
Oh no.
You keep reading your diary every night for a few months, hoping that she'll mention more about the things she saw, but it's mostly filled with some really personal stuff about her feelings, and you kind of feel honestly creepy about this whole situation. The stuff that isn't personal is about how she wonders if ghosts read diaries, and if they do, if they know what totally awful people they're being. Long story short, eventually you leave her alone, never find out who murdered you, and settle down to a nice pleasant afterlife with the other ghosts in Ghost Norway.
Oh no.
You guys do charades with each other and everything. It's pretty fun.
Oh no.
The end.
I don't want to kill you. Hamlet meter. OK。我哋有幾 Hamlet 咧？我諗應該唔係好高分嘅啫。OK, not to be. Suck. Totally suck 啊！做鬼都唔識做，真係陰公。Game over. My stat poison misuse 一次 ，choice made 9個 ，time ewer 0 time ewer not 一次 ，OK， restart from checkpoint 啦 ，in which experience afterlife OK。Warning: This will erase any progress you have made since OK。好，咁啊，翻去佢 senior 嘅 afterlife。And
it's full of ghosts. You know this because you're now one of them.
OK， 咁呢個睇過啦，基本上。OK， 我係唔會入濕自己啊，死於限量踢嘅。繼續。我哋又要翻到去嗰個選項嗰度，咁我話俾你知。OK， 咁今次醒目啲啦，寫住張紙先至叫醒佢咯。
You grab a piece of paper and write down the words, "Hey, I'm not here to kill you. I just want to know about that murder you maybe witnessed." But in Danish, of course. Haha. You gently shake the woman awake while holding the piece of paper up in front of her. She's freaked out initially. She was just woken up by a ghostly apparition from beyond the grave. But once she reads your note, she looks at you suspiciously and says, "For real?" You flip over the paper and write, "Yeah, I'm the guy that got killed maybe. And I guess I want to revenge my death or whatever. But please speak slowly as Norwegian is not my native language. I'm from Denmark."
Okay.
"Oh," the woman says in Danish. "I speak Danish too." "Kick-ass," you reply. She tells you what she saw and gives you a physical description of the guy. Unfortunately, the man answering to her description could only be one person, your brother, Claudius. Congratulations, my king. You now know what you know, so that whole second-person pronoun paradoxical auto-dramatic irony thing has been slain.
Okay.
You've been awarded 500 experience points.
Level.
Plus, you've unlocked a new quest. Revenge yourself on Claudius. You're feeling pretty chuffed about this whole situation. Okay, let's revenge your death. Your murderer is getting away with it in Denmark. Swim back to Denmark.
不過點算咧？游水翻去定係搭船翻去咧？其實做鬼嘅游水又得，搭船啦，不如試下搭船啦。
You go down to the docks and start poking your head into the bridge of every boat you can find.
其實做鬼應該浮翻去得啦，話。
Until you find one that's headed for Denmark, and it leaves in just a few minutes. Nice. This is really convenient. During the voyage, you poke around the boat looking for things to amuse yourself with. You experiment with doing some ghost things, like putting your head inside a barrel of wine and then making your head corporeal. But that just causes the barrel to explode with a sudden pressure inside, and makes you get wine in your eyes, so you don't do that more than a few times. It only takes a while before your boat arrives in Denmark.
咁樣整爆啲酒桶嘅開心。冇得揀呢個 Arrive in Denmark.
You make it back to Denmark. The first thing you want to do is track down your brother to take revenge. Turns out, that's really easy because he's in the first place you check, the royal court. He's there with your widow, Gertrude. Weird. They're acting all close and stuff. Oh well, he's probably just trying to comfort her after your untimely death. Ha! Brothers are really great. Though, maybe not. Listen in on what they're saying.
Okay.
Ignore what they're saying. I'm certain there's nothing untoward going on.
我哋一係八卦下佢哋講咩，一係唔八卦佢啦。應該冇事嘅咁梗係聽下次先。
Hey Gertrude, says Claudius.
I sure am happy that we married each other, even if it was so soon after your first husband died under mysterious circumstances.
Whoa, that certainly was, in terms of exposition, a very efficient sentence.
佢會唔會真係
You
講啲咁
decide
嘅嘢？
instantly that your initial revenge plan, haunt a mirror so that instead of Claudius's reflection, he sees you, and then you mirror his movements, so he's not really sure what's going on, is needlessly complex and stupid. Dude killed you and married your widow. Since you are from olden times, you have an extremely old-fashioned sense of ownership over female sexuality, so this really gets stuck in your craw. Instead of spooking Claudius, you decide to kill Claudius, complete the quest. Get your son to kill Claudius instead.
Really? 懟冧佢 complete the quest 咁個古仔咁快玩完啦，非常之好啊！一係就可以叫我仔懟冧佢。emo kid 信唔過，身為一個國王應該自己搞掂啲嘢。
This is awesome, and it's going to go great, because who better to know how to kill someone than someone who has recently been through that getting killed to death process themselves. You wait until Claudius is sleeping, next to your beloved Gertrude for some reason. Huh, that's weird. Then wake him up by tapping him on the forehead a bit.
Hey, it's me,
You whisper.
your brother, the one you murdered.
Ah, crap.
Claudius whispers back.
Ghosts are real?
Real pissed at you, anyway.
You reply.
Listen, I'll cut to the chase. We are from a time where an eye for an eye is considered to be a good thing to build a justice system around. So I am here to kill you.
How?
Claudius asks, his eyes wide, terrified.
Oh, geez, so many ways.
You say, counting them off on your fingers.
I could startle you and make you have a heart attack, but that takes time. I could throw a pot at your head until you die, but that lacks grace. Instead, check this out.
You move your ghost body so it's floating right above Claudius. He stares at you, his eyes wide.
I'm sorry.
He whispers.
Way too late for that.
You reply. You lower yourself to him, face to face, and keep going. His face dominates your field of vision, and then you're inside his skull, inside the pink of his brain, his blood darkly obscuring your sight. You sink slowly deeper and deeper into him, lining up your ghost body with his regular body, until you are just about occupying exactly the same space. Then you make yourself corporeal. What happens next happens so quickly and with such force that it's hard to describe. But Claudius explodes everywhere.
Claudius
Captured most of it.
exploded.
I mean, you're fine. But man, is this disgusting. Literally disgusting. Gertrude wakes up, dripping in gore, screaming. You, my friend, have achieved revenge.
Yeah,
You roll over
victory!
onto your back and apologize to Gertrude. You explain over her screams what happened, and you tell her that you still love her, even though she married your brother mere weeks after you died. But you can't be with her anymore, you say. You tell her you need to go find your own path.
Sorry about the bad.
You say, floating up through the roof. You spend the rest of the afterlife acting as an immortal judge from beyond the grave, exploding those who have committed the most egregious crimes, merely blowing the hands off those who have been awful people, but still, you feel, deserve a second chance. People whisper your name in fear. Criminals are a cowardly, superstitious lot after all, and it works out pretty good for you. You do a lot of good work for a lot of people, and yep, it turns out that blowing up bad guys never does get old.
Yeah,
The end.
yeah，我真係好中意呢啲話。Yeah, Hamlet meter，今次有幾 Hamlet 咯。skip 咗添。Anyway， game over 我哋成功報咗仇啦，好啦，成隻 game 就完咗啦。好，呢個 series 亦都喺度完結咗啦。講下啫，我哋連 Hamlet 係邊個都未知。OK，anyway，we start from checkpoint。咁其實由 Choose Adventure 開始，不過可以其實睇下，如果我哋係選擇叫阿仔仔幫我哋報仇係點樣
Good news. The afterlife exists.
？Go skip no 係嚟個 skip OK 嚟個跟住 skip 搭船翻去翻去 Denmark。
You make it back to Denmark.
OK
The first thing you want to
好揾翻自己，跟住咪揾翻自己個細佬，跟住懟冧佢，點算呢？ 好啦，咁我哋叫我哋自己個細路，叫佢自己個仔對冧佢啦。
Why?
Why?
Because then he'll have sullied his hands with murder, and better for someone new to be forced to commit the murder act than for me to do it myself for some reason. Oh yeah, wait, this is dumb. I'm already dead and invisible and I can fly. I guess I'll just do it myself.
OK， 如果真係有鬼的話，其實跟下邊嗰個梗係好啲嘢，但係當然啦，如果真係有鬼而呢個鬼老豆真係自己去報仇的話，咁啊成個故事都唔會有呢個故事出現啦。anyway， 好啦，咁梗係叫佢去做啦，Go。
Okay, well, I did promise that you would get to make your own choices here, so that's what you do. You decide you're going to get Hamlet to do a murder for you. Even though that's awful. That's awful, dude. Listen, hypothetical question. Let's say you do that and Hamlet is eventually successful and you are revenged. What would you do then? What would you do with your afterlife if revenge was no longer its driving force? Accountant, actor, amusement park employee, animal husbandry, animator, architect, athlete, bakery owner, bouncer, brewmaster, cake decorator, chef, comic book artist, counselor, cowboy, engineer, explorer, firefighter, food critic, game tester, geologist,
Game tester 幾好啊
librarian, linguist,
Librarian 都好啊
long-haul trucker,
Linguistics，long haul
makeup
trucker
artist,
OK
marine biologist, mechanic, musician, painter, personal trainer, photographer, physician, pilot, policy analyst, professional gambler, professional golfer, programmer, researcher, restaurateur, roller derby player, sex worker, skateboarder,
Sex worker，
spy, tamer of ghost dinosaurs, travel
我想做喎呢個
water slide builder, water
Okay.
slide tester, welder, window cleaner, writer. I'm not here to consider life-affirming hypotheticals. I am here to see my son murder a man.
I'm not here to consider life affirming hypocritical。哇，係正喂 ！Choose preferred hypothetical afterlife carrier。Tame of 咩鬼嘢 ？Tame of 咩 Phantom Dinosaur？哇，呢個正喂！但係我都係叫個仔對冧人嘅啫，都
Okay,
係。
right. But here's the thing. I'm not super cool with having to go through this whole adventure with you, in which
Why?
you induce your only son to commit a murderous act of revenge on your behalf, when you're already dead anyway.
唔得嘅咩？
It's kinda awful. So if you want to tell Hamlet to go kill his stepfather, you can. In fact, look, you just did. But now you're going to have to live with the consequences, as the man who you just induced to murder. You are now your son Hamlet.
OK，
How's that taste,
耶
bucko? Now, you have to go do a murder.
耶！
Hamlet, and promise the ghost of your dead father to kill Claudius. But I don't want to be my son. I want to be a ghost.
揀呢個都幾好嘅，但係唔揀呢個故事開始唔到喎。而且如果我俾人懟冧咗，跟住我做咗隻鬼的話，應該都翻嚟話同我仔講，我幫我報仇啊，懟冧佢啊，哇，懟冧佢啊，哇，跟住啊，咁佢應該身為一個 emo kid 應該會幫我報仇嘅。OK，be Hamlet go。
You clear your throat, hold one hand open in the air in front of you, and promise a ghost that you will kill an alive human. This is what you say. Yea, from the table of my memory, I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, all saws of books, all forms, all pressures past, that youth and observation copied there,
What?
and thy commandment all alone shall live, within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes, by heaven. Your ghost dad seems pretty cool with that.
咁啊蠢
You
啊
have
你，
begun quest Kill Claudius. It's
Okay.
worth 3,500 experience points.
應該夠升
That's a
level
lot.
嘅。
Leave it there and return to Horatio. Throw in a little sexism for good measure.
耶！喂，點會有個副骨頭咁嘅樣嘅？呢個性別歧視啊 ，sexism 好似係。咁 anyway，咁啊，今集去到先啦，下集我哋開始 Adventure of Hamlet Junior， 咁睇下佢做啲咩啦。咁我哋都唔知間邊好。好啦，下集再見，多謝收睇，拜拜。